Let me ask you something. What if the life you're praying for is hiding inside the things you refuse to do every single day? What if success isn't a breakthrough? What if it's a routine? We love big moments. We celebrate big wins. We post big announcements. But life doesn't change in big moments. It changes in small decisions repeated daily. You don't become powerful overnight. You become powerful one habit at a time. Today, we're talking about the power of daily habits, because your future isn't built in a year. It's built in a day. Let me tell you something powerful. The world celebrates the spotlight, but it is built in the shadows. The trophies, the applause, the promotions, the transformations. Those are the visible rewards. What people don't see are the early mornings when no one is watching. They don't see the quiet sacrifices, the repeated effort, the discipline, when quitting would be easier. Small actions seem insignificant in the moment. One workout feels small. One chapter feels small. One extra hour of focused effort feels small. But those small actions are not small at all. They are seeds. And every seed, when planted daily, becomes a forest. The problem is that most people underestimate the power of repetition. We live in a world addicted to fast results. We want instant success, instant recognition, instant transformation. But life doesn't work that way. Growth is gradual. Muscles don't appear after one gym session. Knowledge doesn't explode after one night of study. Confidence doesn't magically show up after one brave decision. It's built layer by layer, brick by brick, day by day. The actions may look tiny, but their consistency creates momentum, and momentum is dangerous in a good way. Once it starts building, it becomes unstoppable. Think about water hitting a rock. One drop does nothing. 2 drops do nothing. 100 drops seem harmless. But over time, steady drops carve through stone. Not because the water is powerful in a single moment, but because it is persistent. That's how habits work. The first few days you wake up early, it feels pointless. The first few days you study longer than usual, nothing seems different. The first few days you choose discipline over comfort, the results are invisible. But invisible progress is still progress. Just because you can't see change doesn't mean change isn't happening. And here's where most people quit in the invisible stage. They stop because the reward hasn't arrived yet. They measure success by immediate outcomes instead of consistent effort. But the truth is, small daily improvements create massive long-term advantages. Being just slightly better each day compounds. A little stronger, a little wiser, a little more disciplined. That little adds up faster than you think. In a month, you feel different. In 3 months, others notice. In a year, your life looks unrecognizable. All because you respected the power of small actions. Small actions also build something even more important than results. They build character. When you choose to act consistently, you are training your mind. You are proving to yourself that you can follow through, that you don't quit when it's inconvenient, that you don't rely on mood to determine movement. Every small promise you keep strengthens your self-trust, and self-trust is powerful. When you trust yourself, your confidence rises. When your confidence rises, your standards rise. When your standards rise, your life rise. It all starts with doing the small things you said you would do. Here's the deeper truth. Massive results are never massive actions. They are accumulated small ones. Success is rarely explosive. It's cumulative. The champion you admire didn't become great in one performance. They became great in thousands of quiet repetitions. The entrepreneur you look up to didn't build success overnight. They made small, smart decisions every single day. The person with discipline didn't wake up one morning transformed. They chose again and again to do what was necessary instead of what was comfortable. And over time, those small choices became a powerful force. You must understand this. Your daily habits are voting for your future. Every small action casts a vote for the type of person you are becoming. Skip the workout. That's a vote for inconsistency. Finish the workout. That's a vote for discipline. Scroll for hours. That's a vote for distraction. Focus and build. That's a vote for growth. Individually, each vote seems minor, but together they decide the outcome. The future doesn't arrive randomly. It's shaped by repeated behavior. And repeated behavior is nothing more than small actions performed daily. So never underestimate the power of showing up. Never belittle the importance of effort that feels ordinary. Ordinary actions, repeated consistently, create extraordinary outcomes. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't one giant leap. It's daily steps. And the beauty of small steps is that anyone can take them. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need overwhelming motivation. You just need commitment to the next small action. Then the next. Then the next. Let's be honest, motivation is unreliable. It's exciting when it's there, but it comes and goes like a passing mood. You feel inspired to start a new habit, a workout, or a project, but by tomorrow, that spark is gone. Motivation is emotional, and emotions are fleeting. If you rely on how you feel to take action, you will always be inconsistent. That's why the people who succeed in life don't wait to feel like it. They act regardless. They've learned the secret that discipline, not motivation, is the real driver of results. Discipline is a decision, not a feeling. It's showing up when you don't want to, finishing when you're tired, and pushing when it's inconvenient. The truly powerful people in the world have mastered this. They don't debate every day whether to wake up early, read, exercise, or work on their craft. They do it because it's non-negotiable. Habits built on discipline remove the question of, do I feel like it, from the equation. They make success predictable because the action is automatic and the outcome eventually follows. Motivation can get you started. It's a spark, a burst of energy, an emotional push, but sparks die quickly. Discipline is the engine that keeps the momentum going. Imagine you're training for a marathon. Motivation might get you to run your first few miles with excitement. But on day 50, when your legs ache and the weather is terrible, motivation will not carry you. Discipline will. That's the difference between someone who dreams and someone who achieves the ability to act even when you don't feel like it every single day. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every small act of self-control, choosing work over distraction, focus over comfort, growth over ease, builds that muscle. Eventually, it becomes effortless. You don't have to negotiate with yourself because your habits, fueled by discipline, guide your actions. Motivation may be flashy and exciting, but it doesn't build strength. Discipline builds unshakable resilience, and resilience is what makes champions out of ordinary people. Another critical aspect is that discipline protects you from life's unpredictability. Some days will feel impossible. Some days you'll face setbacks, fatigue, or doubt. If you rely on motivation alone, those days will stop you. But if you've built habits on discipline, you continue. Discipline removes the dependency on fleeting feelings. It creates a safety net. Life will challenge you, but discipline ensures that your actions don't falter. It's your anchor in the storm, the invisible force carrying you forward when everything else feels uncertain. Finally, discipline is freedom disguised as structure. It might feel restrictive at first, but it liberates you in the long run. When your actions are disciplined, you no longer waste energy deciding whether to do the right thing. You are consistent. You are reliable. You are in control of your life. Motivation will always be unreliable, but discipline ensures that your life moves in the direction you desire. And the more you lean on discipline instead of motivation, the more unstoppable you become. In short, motivation inspires, discipline delivers. Motivation is temporary, discipline lasts. Motivation is exciting, discipline is reliable. If you truly want to change your life, achieve your goals, and become the person you're capable of being, you cannot rely on motivation. You must master discipline. You must train yourself to take action even when you don't feel like it. Because feelings are fleeting, but disciplined habits are permanent, and permanent habits create extraordinary lives. Here's a truth most people never fully grasp. You are not defined by what you say, what you plan, or what you hope for. You are defined by what you do consistently. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. Reading one page doesn't make you a reader. Running once doesn't make you an athlete. But when you repeat these actions daily, something extraordinary happens. Your habits begin to shape your identity, and your identity shapes your life. The person you are is simply the sum of your repeated choices. Identity is not created in grand gestures. It's built quietly, silently, in the repetition of ordinary actions. Writing one essay does not make you a writer. Writing daily, even when you don't feel inspired, does. Waking up early once does not make you disciplined. Waking up early for months, consistently choosing action over comfort, defines you as someone who takes control of their life. The daily choices you make are the building blocks of your character. And character, once solidified, determines the trajectory of your life. Consistency creates evidence. Confidence doesn't come from empty affirmations. It comes from proof. Each time you follow through on a promise to yourself, your self-respect grows. Each time you skip the easy choice to do the right thing, you strengthen your belief in yourself. Over time, these small wins create a mental library of evidence that you can achieve what you set out to do. That's why habits are more powerful than motivation. They give you tangible proof of who you are, shaping your identity without debate. Think about it like this. If you tell yourself, I'm a healthy person, but never exercise, eat poorly, and sleep inconsistently, what you say is meaningless. Your identity is reflected in your actions. It doesn't matter what you claim in words. It matters what your daily behavior proves. Over time, your habits create a self-reinforcing loop. The more consistent your actions, the stronger your identity, the easier it becomes to act in alignment with it. Eventually, you don't have to force yourself. Your identity guides your choices. The power of repetition extends beyond personal development. It shapes your destiny. The person you are today is the result of the habits you have formed in the past. The person you will become tomorrow is already being created by what you do today. Each repeated action is a vote for the future version of yourself. If you consistently choose growth, your identity will naturally align with success. If you consistently choose comfort, procrastination, or excuses, that becomes your identity. Your habits are silently writing the story of your life. Finally, repetition builds resilience. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances will challenge you. When your identity is strong because of your habits, it protects you. You don't act sporadically because of emotion or circumstance. You act consistently because it's who you are. You face challenges not as someone who hopes to survive, but as someone who is built to thrive. Identity forged in repetition is unshakable. And the greatest lesson is this: the small, daily choices you make are far more important than any one monumental decision. Repetition transforms ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Many people misunderstand success. They think it comes from one big idea, one dramatic breakthrough, or one life-changing opportunity. But the reality is far more subtle and far more powerful. Success is rarely explosive. It is the result of small, consistent actions repeated over time. This is the essence of the compound effect. Tiny, seemingly insignificant choices accumulate and create massive results. Just like money grows in a bank account through compound interest, your actions grow exponentially when repeated consistently. The power lies not in the size of each action, but in their relentless repetition. The problem is that most people don't see the immediate results of their efforts. They start a new habit, a workout plan, a skill, or a project, and become frustrated when nothing happens overnight. They forget that meaningful change requires time. One day of writing won't make you an author. One workout won't sculpt your body. One conversation won't make you a better communicator. But the next day, repeated consistently, is building momentum. And momentum is where the magic begins. Small actions compound silently, creating results far beyond what you could achieve with a single heroic effort. Consistency is the bridge between effort and achievement. When you do something small but positive every day, your life is quietly transforming. A 1% improvement daily may seem trivial in the moment, but let's do the math. Improving just 1% every day for a year multiplies your ability by 37 times. That is not exaggeration. It is the mathematical reality of compounding. Most people fail because they expect immediate change. They don't understand that the effects of small actions are invisible at first. The compound effect doesn't rush. It patiently waits while you show up day after day, action after action. The compound effect works both ways. The same principle that can create extraordinary results can also destroy progress if applied negatively. Skipping workouts, procrastinating, making poor financial choices, or indulging in unhealthy habits may feel harmless today. One day doesn't matter, but over months and years, those small bad choices accumulate into enormous setbacks. The person who improves 1% daily versus the person who loses 1% daily ends up worlds apart after a few years. That is why the compound effect is neutral. It rewards consistency, regardless of whether the actions are positive or negative. Another critical element of the compound effect is patience. People often give up before their results manifest because they focus only on what is visible in the moment. But success is invisible in the beginning. The first few weeks, the first few months, they don't feel like progress. Yet the invisible work is not wasted. It is silently building. Habits are stacking. Skills are forming. Knowledge is accumulating. When the tipping point comes, everything accelerates and results seem sudden, but they are actually the natural outcome of long-term consistency. Finally, the compound effect teaches one of life's most valuable lessons: small, disciplined choices matter more than dramatic actions. You don't need to make giant leaps to change your life. You need to do the right things repeatedly, even when it's boring, even when it feels insignificant. Your future is created by the everyday choices you make, not the big heroic gestures. Respect the power of compounding in your habits, your work, and your relationships. The results may not appear immediately, but they are inevitable if you remain consistent. Over time, small actions become extraordinary outcomes. Life has a way of testing us. It doesn't ask politely whether we're ready or not. It throws challenges, distractions, and moments of weakness in our path, often when we least expect it. On those days, motivation alone is useless. You may feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. You may want to quit. But here's where habits become your secret weapon. Strong habits are like a safety net. They catch you when your energy falters, when your will weakens, or when life hits harder than you anticipated. They carry you forward even when you don't feel like moving. Habits remove the need for constant decision-making. Every day, your mind has to make countless choices, from small ones like what to eat for breakfast to major ones like whether to take a risk in your career. Decision fatigue is real, and when it hits, your weak moments can sabotage your progress. But habits automate the right choices. They take the decision out of your hands. When you have a disciplined routine, you don't have to rely on willpower alone. Your habits act as invisible guides, ensuring you continue moving forward even when your emotions want to stop you. Think about the mornings when you wake up exhausted, the days when everything seems pointless, the nights when doubts creep in. Without habits, those moments are dangerous. You give in to comfort, procrastination, and distraction. But with strong habits, your actions are no longer optional. They're automatic. You train your brain to follow the path of consistency. So even when life knocks you down, your habits keep you upright. They are your armor in the battlefield of everyday life, protecting your goals from the unpredictability of circumstance. Habits also build resilience over time. The more you rely on structured routines, the less likely you are to be derailed by setbacks. A single bad day doesn't define your trajectory because your habits ensure that you return to your path immediately. A strong habit is like a compass. It keeps you aligned with your purpose even when storms hit. By consistently showing up, regardless of how you feel, you train yourself to overcome temporary challenges and focus on long-term growth. This consistency builds mental toughness and self-confidence, two qualities that protect you from giving up during difficult times. Another critical point is that habits allow you to conserve willpower. Every time you make a choice without relying on habit, you expend energy. Over time, those decisions add up, leaving you drained. Weak moments become more frequent and progress slows. But when your positive behaviors are ingrained into your daily routine, they no longer drain you, they empower you. You are free to direct your energy toward more meaningful challenges, creative endeavors, and strategic decisions. In essence, habits protect your energy, your focus, and your potential so that weakness never has the final word. Finally, habits instill a sense of inevitability. When someone develops strong daily routines, success feels almost certain, not because life is easy, but because their systems are reliable. Habits create consistency in action. Even when motivation fails, they reduce the power of excuses and remove the influence of fleeting emotions. Over time, this reliability becomes unstoppable momentum. You face fewer setbacks, recover faster from mistakes, and remain steady when others falter. In short, habits protect you not just from weakness, but from the unpredictability of life itself. They are your shield, your safety net, and your secret weapon for enduring success. The biggest mistake most people make when trying to improve their lives is thinking they need to change everything at once. They wake up one day inspired and decide to overhaul their routines completely. Wake up at 4 a.m., exercise for 2 hours, read 50 pages, start a side hustle, eat perfectly, and eliminate every distraction. On paper, it sounds heroic. In reality, it's a recipe for burnout and frustration. Massive leaps are unsustainable. The human brain resists sudden, dramatic change. That's why the true secret to success isn't in the grand gestures. It's in starting small, taking manageable steps, and never stopping. Starting small has a psychological advantage. It creates a sense of possibility. When a goal feels overwhelming, your mind looks for excuses, resistance grows, and procrastination wins. But when you begin with small, achievable actions, momentum builds quickly. Reading 5 pages instead of 50, walking 10 minutes instead of running for an hour, writing a paragraph instead of an essay. These micro actions feel easy enough to start, and starting is the most important part. Once you start, the energy of action propels you forward. Small beginnings make consistency possible, and consistency is the engine of transformation. Small actions also reduce fear and resistance. Big changes trigger doubt. Can I really do this every day? Or what if I fail? Small steps sidestep this mental barrier. They feel less risky, less intimidating, and less overwhelming. Over time, these small steps accumulate into enormous progress. One page becomes a chapter. One workout becomes a month of training. One focused hour becomes mastery in a skill. The key is repetition. Each day you perform your small action, you reinforce the habit, and the habit reinforces your identity as someone who succeeds through discipline and focus. Another reason small steps are powerful is that they create the perception of growth while preserving energy. Big leaps require enormous willpower and create friction. You may start strong, but your energy fades quickly and motivation collapses. Small steps, on the other hand, require minimal energy, allowing you to maintain consistency even on tough days. They are sustainable. They allow you to win repeatedly, which builds confidence, resilience, and belief. The human brain craves these small victories. They feel like progress, and that feeling keeps you moving forward. Never stopping is just as important as starting small. The secret isn't only in the size of the step, it's in repetition without interruption. Life will challenge you, fatigue will hit, distractions will tempt you, and you will feel like giving up. But the person who continues, even with tiny actions, wins over the person who tries everything once and quits. Progress compounds like interest in a bank account. One day's effort may seem meaningless, but over weeks, months, and years, the effects multiply. The consistent small action produces results far greater than sporadic bursts of effort ever could. Finally, the combination of starting small and never stopping builds unstoppable momentum. It trains your mind and body to expect action. It reshapes your identity. It proves to yourself that growth doesn't require perfection or dramatic leaps, just persistence. Small actions become habits. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. And the most powerful lesson is this: the journey doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to continue. The secret of extraordinary success lies not in doing more, but in doing consistently. Keep starting small. Keep showing up. Never stop. Over time, that is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. So here's the truth: to your future isn't waiting for some miraculous event. It isn't hiding in a sudden moment of inspiration or luck. Your future is being written by the small, repeated actions you take every single day. It's in the choices you make when nobody is watching. It's in the habits you stick to when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or exhausting. The person you want to become already exists inside you, waiting to be unlocked through discipline, consistency, and repetition. Start small, keep showing up, and never underestimate the invisible work you're doing right now. Each day is a vote for your future self. Each habit, no matter how tiny, is a building block of your identity. Remember, this greatness doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in the mundane, in the quiet, in the ordinary, repeated over and over again, until it becomes extraordinary. Your habits are your silent power. Your daily actions are your unshakable foundation. And when you commit to them, there's nothing that can stop you. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect day, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect feeling. Start now. Start small. Start consistent. Start disciplined, and one day you'll look back and realize that the life you dreamed of was never out of reach. It was being built every day, quietly, patiently, invisibly, by the habits you chose to embrace. You have the power. You have the choice. And now it's time to act.